Let me just give a few thoughts on transferring everything you've done with major 2/5s over to keys and 2/5s in a minor key. In the minor key, the 2 chord becomes half diminished. The 5 chord is still dominant, but it has to be altered. The 1 chord is minor. We usually add a major 7 to it. So I would start that way with the young student. And that means I'm going to play the chords this way. And the scales would be in the Locrian mode with this 2 chord, to a super Locrian mode, to a melodic minor. We only use the ascending form. So the simplest way to learn those scales, the Locrian mode is the 7th mode of major. So just start on that root and go up a half step and you know what your key signature is. That's where the related major scale lives. The melodic minor is really easy to teach because we don't have to do all the old rigmarole when we realize that all we're doing is flatting the 3. We're keeping the major 6, major 7 on the way up and on the way down. So we can teach this scale as a parallel phenomenon instead of a relative. And we just simply go major scale, flat 3, and we've got it. Now that super Locrian is actually a combination of those two kinds of thinking. The super Locrian is the 7th mode of the melodic minor. So another way to say that would be start on the root, go up a half step, and then play the major scale with a flat 3. And I've often gone through the back door, even with a young student on this. Let's say they have to play an F sharp super Locrian scale. Well, play a G major scale. Now play it with a flat 3. Play it again. Now play the same exact notes, but start a half step lower on F sharp. There's my super Locrian scale. It's a dominant application, has a major 3rd and a flat 7, but also has both the flat 9 and sharp 9 and both the flat 5 and sharp 5. Very useful scale. So that would be a quick way to get those materials for a minor 2/5. And then we could take those around the circle, just like we did the majors. Go around and do all the half diminished first. So let's do the Locrian modes around the circle. Etc. Then I would go around the circle with the melodic minors next. So just a major scale flat 3. And so on. Get those in all 12 keys around the circle. Then do the super Locrians, all 12 keys around the circle. So now I'm going to go up a half step and then play the major scale with the flat 3. Alright, so let's try the super Locrians now around the circle. So I'm going to go up a half step, and then I'm going to play the flat 3 in the relative major scale. So it'll be a relative melodic minor scale. Etc. Then I want to go around the circle and alternate those so they become 2/5-1s. Let's just do scales first. So now it's going to be Locrian to super Locrian to melodic minor, Locrian, super Locrian, melodic minor, Locrian, super Locrian, melodic minor, and so on. So the first one's going to be Locrian. And like before, if I go all the way around the circle, I'm going to only get through 4 keys. I just went through 2 keys, 6 stations. So I've got to slip the starting point twice, again, so that I have all 12 keys on this. Great way to practice it. You can also do it with the chords. Let's do it with the chords. So on. So again, I could do around this circle with scales, go around the circle with chords, go around the circle with the chord and the scale paired, just as I demonstrated on the major. And I want to get that so that I can do that in all 12 keys. So I've got to go around the circle 3 times to get that done in all the keys. So perhaps this is a little bit of help on minor 2-5-1s. The other thing about the minor 2-5-1 that I need to mention is how it resolves. We did some thinking on the major 2-5-1 that the 7 of the 2 chord has to go down a half step to the 3 of the dominant chord. That actually still happens in the minor 2-5. I have to do it the same way. The 7 of the 2 chord to the 3 of the 5 chord. But the 5 chord moving to the 1 is a little different, because if I go from the flat 7 of the 5 chord to the 3, it turns out to be a flat 3 because it's minor. Therefore, it's a whole step. And it won't sound bad, but it's not definitive. We need that half step. So where are we going to get the half step? As soon as we alter the dominant, we have other choices. And this is true whether we do it in the major 2-5 or in the minor 2-5, where we can now have the flat 9 go to the 5. This is the way that I'd usually teach it. So if I was doing you could also have the sharp 5 go to the 9. So that's the another half step that works nicely. Let me do that one more time. Even though I don't have the sharp 5 and the 9 right next to each other, there's a note in between, you still hear that movement. So the guide tones have to be amended a little bit for the minor 2-5-1s. And if we alter in the major 2-5-1, which is certainly done a lot, then we have some of those same possibilities. If I played this major, now I made the flat 9 go to the 5. Let's try it the other way. I'll try to give the sharp 5 to the 9 now. But I'm in major, except I'm altering on the dominant. Sorry, I should resolve it so that you hear us in major. So this is all spelled out very clearly in the book. Just want you to hear it. You ought to be sure that you're looking at the appropriate places in the book for this in chapter 20. And that is the Real Jazz Pedagogy book, which you can find Amazon.com, jazzbooks.com, barnesandnoble.com, outskirtspress.com. Be sure you look at the book along with this. Okay. Thank you.